Let's Cover That podcast is brought to you by CM&F Group, professional liability services for over 200 healthcare professions. Visit our website at cmfgroup.com/podcast for more info.
Hey everyone, Will Sullivan here with another episode of Let's Cover That with my co-host
Antonina Agruza, and today we have with us Katie Gillberg, the founder and CEO of Hydrate IV Bar. Hi Katie, thanks for joining us today.
Hi, thank you so much. I appreciate being asked to join.
Of course. So Katie, tell us about why and how you started Hydrate IV Bar.
Hydrate IV Bar is a wellness spa. We specialize in IV therapy and vitamin injections, and I am the founder and CEO. I opened our first location in 2016 in Denver, Colorado. And at the time, it really was just a passion project for me. It's still a passion project, but back then, I had one successful spa on my mind. Little did I know I would be growing and scaling at this rate. I, to date, have 4 corporate spas, and then we have 6 franchises open. So 10 spas total, and we have launched a national franchise program. So my background is, I'm born and raised here in Denver, and I have a business degree. I started working in medical sales right after college. And so that was my foot in the door in the medical industry. I was working in pain management, and which is an interesting specialty. And my passion, my kind of how I've grown up is much more alternative medicine, looking at prevention, more integrative therapies. And so I was really working on one side of the spectrum and then living my life on the other side of the spectrum. And when IV therapy was introduced to me, it was kind of somewhere where I could play in the middle a little bit.
Cool. So as you started the business, especially that first, IV hydration clinic, what really gave you the idea on like how to stand out as that's really like cropped up and grown and growing your business as you've kind of shifted to more corporate locations and franchising? Like how has that progressed? How have you stood out?
Sure. So in 2014, I transferred to Las Vegas. I was working with a hospital group out there. And this is when I first started seeing IV therapy in a non-traditional medical setting for hangovers. So you'd see a bus drive up and down the strip. You'd have nurses go to hotels. And it really, it's like Vegas is a league of its own. A lot of hangovers there. Didn't think much more of it until I moved back to Denver. And at that time, I knew, growing up here, it's a very health conscious community. We have a ton of athletes. We have a lot of tourism. And the wellness industry really, it still continues to boom, but it just was really starting to get some great momentum. So it's not uncommon in Denver, back then, and especially now, to be talking about, acupuncture and infrared sauna and cryotherapy and IV therapy. So I really, when I moved back here, I had IVs in the back of my mind, but I really, all of the branding was typically towards hangovers. And I just felt like we were totally missing this amazing opportunity to educate the general public, to healthy adults, that these services can be very accessible. You don't have to go to an urgent care hospital. They can be done in a very safe way, following the same protocols that you would in a traditional medical setting, but we can make it a spa-like atmosphere. And we're open 7 days a week, and we accept walk-ins. And so all of these, little details that mattered to me as the consumer. And that's really what I did. Is I said, I love these services. Why can I not find anywhere in Denver that has these services accessible? And why is no one really educating on the benefits of the general health and wellness, for immunity, for energy? Let's move the attention away from hangovers. We get overindulgence, we get altitude sickness, we get, these services are great for any type of dehydration. But I really wanted to build the brand that focused on your everyday healthy adult that could build this into their regular regimen. We're a membership model. And so most of our clients come to us at least once a month. And that's really, we're happy that we're here to help those people who may have food poisoning or are just run down or, on the verge of getting sick. Like that sort of reactive client is still very important to us, but we really have been successful with those who are being proactive and coming to us ahead of time for their health.
What is it, just out of curiosity, Katie, what is, out of all the services that kind of pull people in initially for that subscription model, is it similar to how you kind of got into it, or is there a specific service that kind of reels them initially, and then what kind of keeps them in there too? Is that
Yeah,
different?
absolutely. Most people, I would say most people, if we're at an event or out in the public and I say, I own an IV therapy spa, most people, their first reaction is, I've done that in Vegas. I've been hungover. I've done that in Vegas. And so, you know, it's wonderful for me to be able to say, great, I know you felt amazing benefits, but let me tell you about how this can help you when you do not overindulge the night before. I think a lot of people don't realize what their baseline could be. So when you already are feeling pretty good, this can make you feel even better. And so I would say the biggest challenge is just getting people in the door the first time. Like you said, once they come in, they love it. And that it's great for us. I mean, it's a feel good space. It's our clients, we're making them feel great. Our nurses are very happy to be here. In comparison to maybe the emergency room that they are working on their other job. And so once people come in, most people that come in that are just committed to, I want to try this, let me see what you got, they will do kind of our kitchen sink. A traditional kitchen sink is called the Myers cocktail, and it's named after a Dr. John Myers, who is the pioneer of these sort of therapies. And so our spin, really, if you Google Myers cocktail anywhere, any IV spa will have that on the menu. So that is, probably the most popular or the most desired, aside from, I saw this in Vegas. And so our spin on a Myers is called the Katie cocktail, which is obviously named after me, the founder's favorite. And so it's a Myers cocktail with an extra dose of vitamin C, as well as glutathione, which is an amazing antioxidant. So really our most popular menu item, it's the most expensive, it's the most kind of complex, but people that come in, they are like, let's do this. I'm getting hooked up. I want it all. And so that's our most popular item.
Really awesome. I love it. So what's the greatest part of working for yourself?
Oh, I would say, well, it's a blessing and a curse. I mean, I have all the flexibility in the world, but it also doesn't stop. It doesn't turn off. And I'm so fortunate. That was really one of the driving factors when I started a business is I was so drained in my medical sales job, the team I was working for, and it was just this, it wasn't inspiring me. And that was really my big motivator of, I was just hoping that, I could start this business and I would work for myself and it'd be me and one nurse. And this was like an awesome career change for myself. And it has been so much more than that. It's been the most rewarding, undertaking experience that I've ever done. And I would say, I attribute all of our success to the people that we have brought into this Hydrate family. I'm not our doctor, I'm not our nurses, I'm not providing the services. And so I rely, heavily, obviously, on an amazing medical team. And from the beginning, we've had such a solid core. And I've been so fortunate that most of our nurses have been referrals from someone else. They've worked together in the hospitals. They know the bedside manner. And so from day one, I'm the leader and the founder and the visionary. And I kind of say I'm the keeper of the culture. Like our culture, our vision, our mission is super important. And that I would say is probably the best part of owning this business is I do get to control that piece of it. And that is so fun and rewarding and exciting to me. Everyone works really hard, but we play hard and we have a lot of fun. And I'm just so proud of the careers that we've created and the clients that we're servicing.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you know, especially as you know make that comment about careers and kind of progressing your whole team for like having fun in work and the great vision and culture that you have. So what's the advice you give to other women who are starting businesses, looking for career shifts like you did? You kind of went
Sure.
out on a limb to do this like one clinic. Now here you are progressing and working also as an outsider with somebody with like great technical knowledge from the medical sales environment, but also wellness. It's a really cool kind of shift that you've made. So what does that look like when you give advice out?
Thank you. You know, I think the biggest piece of advice and what I'm most proud of is that I just went for it. And I think so many people, I mean, I have many people that come up to me that say, I thought of this 10 years ago. And, I smile and I'm honored, but it's, they didn't do it. And that's not to hit on them, not to take a jab at them, but I think just in general, it's really scary to make these leaps. I mean, I remember my parents, when I told them what I was going to do, and they're like, "Well, what if this fails?" And to me, one, I recognized that I was very lucky. Just the place that I was in at the time. I mean, I responded to my parents and I said, I don't have a mortgage. I don't have children. I can take this risk. I can afford to take this risk personally in my life where I'm at right now. If it fails, I'm going to move back in with you guys, move into your basement, and I'll go get another job. I mean, that was my mindset. Like failing wasn't an option. I was going to try it. I was going to do it. I was like, this is going to work, period. And it was one day at a time. So really, I think so many people get so caught up in the timing or maybe not having all the pieces. I certainly did not have all the pieces. My business plan was a joke compared to what I could put together now. But I had the passion and the drive, and there was just no stopping me. So I would say, if you have something that's keeping you up at night, I mean, I knew I would regret it forever if I didn't try. And that's all I needed to keep going. So I'd encourage anyone, just do it. And then also be really honest with yourself and, where do you need help? How do you build a team around you to help support this dream? I knew I needed a doctor. I knew I needed an amazing legal team. I knew I needed a great accountant because I did not, I look at Excel spreadsheets and it like makes my head go crazy. So, I think you can't be amazing at all the things. So really lean on other people, ask for help. And that's something that, I've done over the years that has been so beneficial for me. I used to wear all the hats. I would do our marketing. And if you look at our marketing 6 years ago, it's horrible compared to what we did now. So really, just hire the people, lean on other people. And at the end of the day, one day at a time, you're going to get curveballs. I don't know that you can ever be fully prepared for taking the leap. You just need to take the leap.
Really inspirational, Katie. Thanks for sharing that. So tell us what's next for you and Hydrate IV Bar.
Personally, I'm growing my family. I just had a baby, so that's been extremely exciting. And
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you. She's 7 months old, and my husband and I hope to continue growing our family. So that's been, even that the last year transitioning, figuring out, what is this balance going to look like? I am super proud of my career and the business that I've built, and building this business and continuing. We have amazing momentum right now. So being the CEO is still very important to me, as is being a mother. And I would be lying if I said it was anything short of difficult. It's challenging. And that's again where I'm leaning on other people and trying to figure out, how do I do both of these things and how can I, turn one on and turn one off. So Hydrate has incredible momentum right now. The wellness industry, IV therapy, 7 years ago, people, I would say, yeah, we do IVs. And people would look at me like I had, 3 eyes. They just didn't understand. And now it's much more common, we have quite a bit more competition, but it's great. It helps educate people that these services are available. And the wellness business, especially in the last 2 years, has taken off. So I'm really excited about the space that we're in, the business that we have, our business model. I mean, if we could make it through 2020 and rebound like we did, that gives us that extra confidence as well. And so I hired some really incredible teammates the end of last year before I was going on maternity leave. A VP of operations, a franchise development manager, a marketing director, all with experience in franchising. And those were really, I think, the big voids that we had at that time. And so now with their assistance on the franchising side, we are ready to go coast to coast. So I'm just here to smile and lead and keep us all on track. And, we'll grow at a pace that feels comfortable. We're going to be very intentional about, who we bring in, but there's no reason this shouldn't be in every market. I mean, there's so many benefits. So that's where we're at right now, is families growing, businesses growing, smiles growing.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, amazing work, Katie. And congratulations on the baby, the growth of the family with your husband and the new baby and the business. Just wonderful work across the board.
Well, thanks again, Katie. And that's another episode of Let's Cover That.